Episode 627, Brain Kitty Podcast. Susan here.
627.
With our spin-off things we got wrong, are we going to be like more official? Like, are we going to have like a thing?
No. Who's going to be enforcing that?
I love that you're like actually offended that I would even ask.
No, I'm not going to be official.
We got to have a theme
that'll
song.
last for like a week.
We should have an 80s style theme song like the shows in the 80s had.
That's fun.
As long as we've got each other.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yeah. Remember when I made a theme song for Milton, the ganglion cyst on my foot?
Yeah. Do you remember how it went?
He went away, but then he came back the next day. His name is Milton. He's my ganglion cyst. Yeah.
It's still funny.
Yeah. I don't remember the intro, the first verse. But I do remember, his name is Milton, he's my ganglion cyst. Which sounded very like 80s.
The big finish.
Yes.
So good.
Oh, gosh.
You're
It's
good
so
at making songs up.
Just
It's a gift. It's a gift.
talent that you could do nothing with.
Right.
Yeah,
It's kind of
I do
like your
to make
synesthesia.
what I call official, unofficial theme songs for things.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, maybe we should have an official one for the other podcast. We'll think about it. We'll think about it.
Yes. Adam is also good at this game.
Yeah. Okay.
That's great.
How are you? What are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm feeling a little. I'm like feeling a little under the weather, and I really understand what you were saying about like it sucks when the sun is shining and you can't go outside. Like you don't feel like going outside.
Yeah.
It feels
What are
like
your
a
symptoms?
Like sore throat and like post-nasal drip. That's the worst.
I hope you don't have what I got.
You know, could you imagine we catch it through the phone?
Yeah, I actually could, Sarah.
Right.
Like we're at that
These are
point.
probably just sympathy pains for like your
Truly, you're an empath.
Yeah, I think that's it. Where I'm just like, ugh.
Right.
No, this is like sometimes when I come back from camping,
Yeah.
I like there's like a day of like
Maybe you have
I don't know.
allergies.
Yeah, it might be that. It might just be like sleeping outside and then like
well, because this is a whole new state. They have different pollen. They have different plants and fauna, or whatever the fuck, flora.
Yes.
So you might have an allergy you're not aware of.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a test I could take for that. It'll tell me my sensitivities.
Yeah, pay like $800 and they'll tell you.
Right, and prick me with a whole bunch of things, but yeah, no, I'm doing great. Things are like I'm getting geared up to go to summer camp. You know, we were practicing our songs in the last episode. It made me very excited.
Yeah, that made me excited too.
Yeah.
Hey, this guy that you're seeing right now is Jewish, which I'm a Jew supremacist, as you know. Like I think the Jews are the superior
chosen people.
Correct. Yeah. And Adam and I both have thought about converting to Judaism. And would you consider that? And if so, maybe we could all do it.
If that were something that was important to my partner's family or me or
it's
them.
important to them. They love that shit. Even the ones that are like just like culturally Jewish, they still love a convert.
Yeah. I think I would. I love studying. Right?
Sarah wants to convert just because she loves like a good test.
I love a good test.
That's
I love
hilarious.
a study. I love having to like learn something.
Yeah, because it's real involved. And what ends up happening, everyone talks about how like when you convert to Judaism, those people are way more into it than the actual Jews.
Right.
We would be so annoying. It would be great.
Yeah. Yes. I feel like I did study Kabbalah for a long time.
Yeah, you're halfway there. Well, does he have a yarmulke and have you seen it?
No.
You haven't seen it?
No.
He doesn't have one?
Well, I'm sure he does.
Yeah, you
but
should
I haven't
ask him.
seen it. I'll ask him.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Yeah.
Tell him we're like fetishizing his Judaism. I'm super into Jews. Like, it's weird. My husband gets really annoyed about it. That's why he wants to convert, because he thinks that I'm like sexually into it.
Oh.
Like it's my,
like
it's my
you're
thing. Because if he ever died, God forbid, I definitely would end up with a Jew, an old Jew.
Yeah. Yeah. I think more, the thing that really does it for me is like an East Coast attitude.
Totally.
You know, where like I like a little bit of like the, I don't know, like witty banter and teasing and that kind of like
Their sensibility is great.
Yes. And I need somebody who can like put up with me doing that. And because I'm going to.
Yes, that's what you were saying.
Tone
I forget if this was on the air. I think it was off the air. And you said,
what?
I think this was off the air that you said that you're into like teasing each other, but that's what that is. And you're so right. You are into that.
I am.
You're fitting right in.
I know.
You're practically in the tribe.
I'm a shiksa.
You really are. Although that's typically used like as a pejorative, but who cares? It's fine.
Right. It's fine.
Until you convert, you can be that.
Yeah.
I'm excited about this Judaism in our lives.
Right. Well, I mean, it is. It's just, I say I really love a ritual.
Yes. Well, you are in luck.
Right.
They love a ritual.
Know? And like, I'm like the one who's getting emotional as we're like reading the passages at like Passover. And I'm like, oh, I feel this is really it. Like, I'm like, Sarah.
Yeah, they're sick of it.
Right. And I'm like, this is important to sit down and listen. I'm like telling the kids, like, pay attention. Yes.
This is going to be so great for us.
Yeah.
Not to make it about me or anything.
But, you know.
Okay, great.
I know. We're just like getting way really more excited. Like great family like meals and like, you know, opportunities to just like
I'm so jealous.
Get together and have some fun times and celebrate
whatever the hell they celebrate.
Yeah, whatevs. That I like better than all the Christian holidays that we celebrate.
Right, those suck. Let's try the Jews.
Yeah.
This is great. Okay, good. Sorry to hijack. Yeah. It's your show. I'm sorry.
No, this is fine. This is, you know, we're just talking about what's going on in my life and everything like that.
Yeah.
And, yeah. It has been really fun to find somebody who's matched in like outdoor adventures and things that I want to do. Like it is, but then somebody who also is well-rounded and, you know, you can like get dressed up and go out to a nice dinner with. Sometimes it's like hard to find that.
That is so
especially
true.
in Denver.
Yeah,
it's like
he's civilized.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You got like...
That's because he's a Jew. I mean, I hate to beat a dead horse here, but I mean, that really is why. Those people, they know how to acclimate and like code switch. They really do.
Yes. And like well-rounded and just like, you know, I like the family dynamic. I like, and any culture, any group where the matriarch is, you know.
Head honcho. Yep.
I like that.
Me too.
I like that.
Okay.
I will say this has been, I feel like this is I've never had a relationship that's felt more equitable and felt more like we're on the same page. And, you know, like I was thinking about that when we were setting up the tent. So he's got a car tent, like maybe you've seen it.
I've seen it.
Mm-hmm. And it's so fun. And I could just imagine in some of the other relationships I was in.
No, you don't even have to imagine. I remember what happened with the Airstream and the roof, the retractable roof incident.
Yes.
There was an incident.
I saw the solution.
Right.
And I was not allowed to voice my thoughts about it was like, shh, I'll do it. So it felt like I wasn't allowed to help or wasn't allowed to like pitch in and in the relationship I'm in now, not only am I allowed to do that, I have to. Like it's like a group effort. Like it's not like have to, but you know, it's like it feels like
it's a team.
We work as a team. He's like, okay, I'll get this side, you get that side, and that it's not like I'll do a little bit more because you're like the woman and you can't. He's like, no, I'm like
no,
and then he lets me do all the things.
He's
like, yeah, go ahead, put the ladder down. I'm like, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah,
it's the best. And then he still is so much better than me at so many things, which I need and I find very attractive. And you know, it's one thing if like it feels like equitable, but then I feel like I could like,
ew,
you know,
yeah. That's not sexy. If you feel like you're better than him at everything, that's not ideal.
Because it does something. It has affected my relationships before, especially when it comes to physical stuff. Like, I can remember how upset, even though they didn't say it, they just gave me those vibes. Like when I was hiking did like the Machu Picchu trail in Peru.
Yeah.
And I was with a group of like
Sherpas and stuff.
4 dudes.
Yeah.
And then, the Sherpas. But, the people and I remember there was one day where it was like all downhill, and women are just better at going down a mountain because, where our body weight is better. Like, we tend to be more bottom heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's easier for us to, climb down a mountain than, especially like run down it, than it was for like the guys I was with that were top heavy and kind of like hurting their knees and things like that. And I remember finishing like way before everybody, and they like shunned me the rest of the night. They were like mad at it. Felt like, and I don't want that. I don't want to
that comes
unintentionally
from
emasculate somebody.
Right, but emasculation comes from insecurity. If you know that you're good at some stuff and bad at some stuff, then you have nothing to be worried about. But those bozos...
I did ask Eli. I'm like, what are you bad at?
Oh.
What is it?
Did he have an answer?
Oh, I think he did. I can't remember what it was, but I was like, does that even count?
But your perception is that he's, very proficient.
Yeah, he says that he can do a lot of stuff, so-so.
That's what I love.
Yeah.
I love that.
Right. I think he's been better than so-so.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Insane skier. Like jumps and shit.
I just shut down. I think I just glazed over.
It's so impressive. I saw videos and I'm like, oh my God. He was like on the college ski team.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I'm going to look past that
good.
and just focus on the Judaism.
Like he would definitely use the term powder, Susie.
Oh my God. He wouldn't. I don't think he would. Do you think?
You don't think so? That's going to be what you ask.
Not like you.
It's like the litmus test. You're going to be like, okay.
I think he'd be fine if someone else used it.
Yes. You don't think he's bringing it up. I love that Susie,
I know.
No. She's like, no. This is what he would be like.
I've never met this man.
Never met him.
But I feel like he's in my family now. I have not felt that about other people you've dated. This is somebody.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, this is, for me, this is a done deal.
That's wonderful.
Because I know you really well. And
yes, you do.
I know when you're at peace.
Yeah.
And I sense that this is a very healthy situation you have. That's my perception.
I love that.
I hope I'm right.
That is also how I feel and also how his mother feels.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing is I just feel good about the whole situation.
So, it's always great when the people who know you, the people who are around you, me and him, go, yeah, I like this version of them when they're with you. This is them happy.
Yeah.
And that's how you get that feedback from friends and family and stuff like that. And that's felt really good because it's been the same for me.
I'll tell you what's making me happy. And this is freaking no lie.
What?
Wild grain bread and pastas.
Okay. You mean my French Parisian bakery that I have going in my kitchen on Sunday? You were not kidding with those croissants.
Don't, you know how you guys all, want to not pay attention to this part? I am not kidding you. This is my all-time favorite partner we've ever had.
Wow.
Last night we
Susie
had
loves it.
fettuccine and pasta sauce, and then the fettuccine was wild grain, and then I made a sourdough loaf.
Oh.
I couldn't believe how good it was.
Okay, I've got this in my freezer. I've been waiting for. I'm gonna bust that.
It was amazing. Like Sarah said, they do have croissants. They're waffles. Sarah, have you had them?
No, I have not. I've not had a waffle.
Gretchen texted me and she goes, "Wild grain waffles, yum!" And I was like, "Waffles? I didn't even know they had waffles." And then there they are. You cook them in the oven for 5 minutes, and it is like a dessert. You could have it with ice cream if you wanted.
I do want.
It's outrageously good bread. I don't know how they do it. It comes frozen, and then you just bake it real quick for your meal, and it's like you baked it for real at British Bake Off or something.
Yes.
Hungry already? For a limited time,
yes.
you can get $30 off your first box plus free croissants in every box when you go to wildgrain.com/braincandy to start your subscription. You heard me. Free croissants in every box and $30 off your first box when you go to wildgrain.com/braincandy. That's wildgrain.com/braincandy, or you can use promo code braincandy at checkout. You guys, I'm not lying. Good. This is so good.
So delicious.
Okay.
I can smell sourdough. Like when you talk about sourdough, I can like smell it in my mind.
Okay, it was sourdough. I cut it up, put butter on it, dipped it in my pasta sauce. It was just unreal.
Yum.
I'm not lying.
You're making me hungry.
It's so good, Sarah. Try it. Because you said you haven't been able to shop. What are you waiting for? Try those.
I know. I'm so excited.
You need to get pasta sauce. That's a problem.
Yep.
I'm
already thinking, well, when you said that, I'm already creating a recipe in my mind because I have some hot Italian sausage links, which I think will be really good. And the other thing that I've been craving is like a fettuccine, like white sauce kind of thing, but I love it with Italian zucchini.
Yes.
And I like the yellow and green zucchini.
Great choice.
And you cut that up, and then you do that with like a little Parmesan, kind of like Alfredo sauce or that. I love like a white sauce with those.
We're making days over here.
We are. Well, at least pasta. Yeah.
It's all good.
Would you like to learn some fun things?
Do it.
I have so many random articles of like little facts that and little stories that
Tell me.
You know, I've
Teach
been
me
collecting
something.
that I have to talk to you about.
Okay.
First one I want to share. This story was in, where was it? It was in, I want to say the Insider. It was a case that happened in the UK, but a similar thing has happened multiple times in the United States. So, a 2-year-old little boy started showing signs of puberty. He started growing pubic hair. He started developing what his parents called a sizable penis. And he started gaining weight, but not like regular weight, like muscle weight, at a rate that was way outside of the norm for a normal 2-year-old. So they put him through all this testing and were like checking on like hormone levels and checking on, they wanted to rule out any like endocrine problems or like congenital disorder, and they still couldn't figure out what was going on. So then, you know, like doctors they started looking at, okay, what could be like a toxin in the environment, or there's something in this child's environment that's causing this, because they tested him and the testosterone levels were off the charts. And they found that the dad had a testicular disorder, like some kind of testicular condition. They didn't go into what it was, but he had a testicular condition that where he had been given testosterone gel. And testosterone gel is something that you apply externally to your arms and chest and upper stomach and shoulders. That's like where they tell you to apply it. Because he had been applying it to the outside of his body and then been in contact with the baby absorbed the testosterone and was getting testosterone as a baby.
This is terrible.
For sure, because I feel like, and this is not the first time this has happened, there have been a number of medical reports where this testosterone gel has sparked early puberty in children. There was a case in 2007 where doctors in Alabama reported a 16-month-old baby boy that developed pubic hair, also an unusually large penis, and had frequent erections. And once again, he was unintentionally exposed to his father's testosterone gel. The mom in the UK is fighting real hard to get labels on packaging because this is not something that they're even labeling.
It's awful.
What? That's crazy.
And
that we don't have any information, like the risks aren't...
I've read articles about how testosterone is being overly prescribed as well, because there's a lot of this like incel Joe Rogan cultural movement where men feel like they have to assert this fucking nightmare toxic masculinity. And so they're going and being like, oh, I have low testosterone, and they're getting prescriptions unnecessarily.
What are the consequences of that?
Well, that's what even with this 2-year-old, I would suspect that in addition to these physiological developments, that this child probably has greater aggression and other temperamental
that would make sense, for sure. Okay.
issues as a
They
result.
didn't mention anything in there about that, which I feel like is an important...
Right. That is so disturbing.
Yeah. And this is just what we're seeing in babies. Like, I feel like maybe the effects are not as noticed, but, or
This is probably it is a provocative thing to discuss, but I just want to draw attention to something. We see a lot of conversations about trans folks and gender affirming care and how we shouldn't offer gender affirming care to children, right?
Right.
Even in my own life, I know of boys who have been under height, have been short, and their parents have gotten shots to increase their height. That is gender affirming care, everybody. My breast implants are gender affirming care. Women that have mastectomies that get artificial breasts, that is gender affirming care. So when you talk about gender affirming care, it is not just trans people.
Right.
And it's not just adults. Like these boys that think they're too short and want to be taller, and then they shoot them. And puberty blockers, by the way, just so we're all clear,
yes,
as soon as you stop doing it, puberty comes. It's not
all you're
permanent.
doing is you're delaying it, similar to what gymnastics does.
And we can all see the physiological effects on gymnasts of all the things they do.
Right.
So I guess it's easy to get caught up in headlines and like clickbait stuff, but there's more to the story and there's a lot of gray area. And this is another thing, like you're saying, these guys, they didn't go into what this person had.
Right.
It might have been some sort of serious illness, or it might have been just like, I want to be...
That he had a
big, tough guy.
testicular cancer and had his testes removed, and he's doing this as a hormone replacement therapy.
Right. There's a lot of people that are getting prescriptions for things that would fall under that umbrella.
Yes.
Besides
this is an excellent point.
Trans folks.
Yes.
Anyway, how disturbing.
Did you see that what?
It's just so disturbing that baby, the
Yeah.
2-year-old. But go ahead.
Yeah. And it's so disturbing that it's like these companies aren't right away going, oh, yeah, we should definitely put this on the box. And it sounds like the mom is really fighting for this.
Like, why is this even a big debate?
Why is this a debate?
Okay.
Why is this a debate?
Right. If it turned them blue, they would. Like, what?
Right.
Pubic hair in a 2-year-old? What?
Yeah. Be careful carrying your child when you put this on. And we just know what it's doing to little boys because it's easier to see.
Yikes.
What's the effects on females?
Yeah.
And we can't study it
Why?
because you can't subject babies to this.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You can't do an actual controlled study because it's just like almost anecdotal. But it's multiple cases of this. Wow. Like there was a lot.
It's bonky.
Yeah. Did you see, I read today that Elon Musk's child has said, I do not want anything to do with him. I want to change my name. That guy is no longer my dad.
Oh, one of his older kids?
Yeah. 18-year-old daughter who's trans. And
Are
changing
you
her name.
serious?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Male to female?
And male to female.
Oh, my God.
Yep.
Well, people always
It's like,
talk
fuck
about...
him.
People always
And
talk
I
about
agree.
Elon, because when he had the most recent child or one of his younger children with that weird name, the X name,
Right.
I don't think a lot of people realize he has existing
7
kids.
children.
Yeah.
7 children. He's a fucking narcissist.
No doubt.
Because he doesn't do it to be he's not like present in these children's lives.
So he has a trans daughter, and she's
Yes.
like, fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy.
Wow.
On her 18th birthday, as soon as she turned 18, she's 18 now, and she's like, okay, great, now I get to make him not my dad, and make it so we have different last names. First name and last name changing, and
that's really brave, apart from the fact that it's her dad,
right,
is the fact that this is her meal ticket, if she wanted it to be.
Yeah.
You know.
And she's like, fuck that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yep. And I support this since it also comes at the same time as the expiration of my Amazon Prime account, and we are in the business of no longer supporting any billionaires. Fuck all of them.
I was
Jeff
trying
Bezos
to
and
recreate
Elon
for
Musk.
Adam the thing that you do that makes me laugh so hard, where it's like an octave higher, where you're like, hey, everyone! Can you do it for me,
my
though?
Oprah, like I love bread.
Yeah, but I suck at it. Do it for me so I can do it. It's
I
like
don't-
breathy, too. Like you're exasperated.
I don't even know if I could do it on. Give me a subject. What am I getting upset about? What are we like?
Well, like,
Oh,
it was
like billionaires having too much money.
I'm going to have to listen to last week's episodes because there was, you kept doing it when I was high on, when I was on cough syrup, and you'll be like trying to keep it down here. And you'll be like, I hate, and then you explode, and it just is the best. I'm going to have to listen.
Because it's so hard to not yell on this. And for wonderful editor Colin, I will not yell into the mic.
Does he yell at you? Does he say, like, stop doing that?
Well, I've been warned. Not warned.
Sarah's
I've been
probation.
informed of the range.
I didn't even know that.
And it was just more like and this was more early / mid stage of the podcast where it's like, be aware of how far away from the mic you are. So sometimes I get very loud when I'm very close to it. So I try to be louder when I'm far away. So
That's so great. Wow, these conversations happen all outside of my knowing.
yes,
like that.
yes. He was like, you just need to make sure you check your
God,
levels
they're, like, so
because
tender.
yeah. Okay, so that was my information about the 2-year-old boy. Then this was really cool. This is kind of like a follow-up to a lot of people really loved the discussion that you and I had on the documentary, the Beach Boys documentary.
Really?
The Brian Wilson one.
I
were
watched
really
it again.
moved by it and just
Are you
thought about music
serious?
in a different way. Yes.
Oh my God.
And Eli even talked to me about it. He was like, I loved that whole conversation. And like, it was really cool to hear about all that. And I had no idea.
Oh my
And-
gosh, that makes me so excited.
Yeah.
Well, I watched it again with Adam, and I cried the whole time again. And he was like, I think witnessing it, he was like, okay, this is a real thing. And we had to have a whole conversation about like, what is it that you're crying about? And and then we're going to see him in July. Brian.
Oh, you're going to be a mess.
Yeah. But anyway, sorry, go ahead.
What did you cry more at? The Beatles Love Show or
No, this.
Brian Wilson? Wow.
Yeah. This. Yeah.
Okay, that touches your heart in a very special way.
Yeah.
Well, I read this article.
Yeah.
About how music really is the language of the soul.
Yes.
And they were looking at, did you see this?
No, I'm just in agreement.
Okay. You're just in agreement. There was a study that was done at Berkeley, University of California, Berkeley? Mm-hmm. Yes. Where they wanted to see if different cultures responded to the same music. And they came up that they kind of like loosely mapped music into 13 emotions that are universal.
Oh my God. I'm so excited.
I knew you'd be into this. And it's really cool. They looked at the centers of the brain, the emotional centers of the brain that were activated when people listen to different music. So it was Vivaldi's Four Seasons, Al Green's Let's Stay Together. I think we've mentioned this and talked about this.
We've talked
before,
about that
like,
concept, yeah.
Yeah.
But not these specific songs.
So they were looking at, and the one thing that was a limitation is they only were able to compare. They only looked at two different cultures. They looked at the U.S. and China, but they wanted to take cultures that were very distinct, where like one's collectivist, one's individualist, and kind of look at like where's the overlap? Are there universal emotions or do we have a universal reaction to this? And I think the thing that is the big takeaway is that there are 13 emotions that they were able to connect.
That's so cool.
To music. And they are, let's see, do you want to guess some of them?
No. I want you to tell me.
Okay. Some of them are pretty easy. Some of them are kind of the obvious ones. Joy, sadness, being scared. Then some other ones that I think are a little more unique. So amusement, eroticism, beauty.
Really?
Yes. Relaxation, dreaminess, triumph, anxiety, annoyance, defiance, and feeling pumped up.
Yeah.
Which also, we need a better word for feeling pumped up.
Right.
There should be a word for that. Why don't we have a
normally it would be enthusiasm.
Oh.
Right?
That's a good one. But it's more than enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Because that's different. You could be enthusiastic about going enthusiastic about something, but maybe not pumped up for it.
Really?
What's the difference? I feel like they're different.
Oh, yeah, because enthusiasm is just like excitement, but pumped up means like almost like war.
Yeah. Yes.
Like sports thing.
Yes.
And
so much of this I thought about like sports, or I thought about like triumph. But don't you feel like eroticism is one that I wasn't expecting to be on there? But as somebody who has a sexy playlist available on Spotify for you guys to check out, there are definitely songs that turn me on, that cause those kind of like erotic feelings in a way.
I could see that more than an annoyance was one, right?
Yeah, but like,
what's that?
Have you don't you have a song that you listen to that's like annoying?
Is that what they're saying? Like a
I don't know,
song
maybe.
that annoys you?
What pops out in your head as annoying songs?
Yeah.
I got one on the top of my head, a song that I think is annoying. Who Let the Dogs Out?
No way! That is a banger.
I don't think so.
Did you watch that
the
documentary?
The other song that's
that
controversial that everybody else likes that I can't stand is American Pie. I hate that song.
What do you hate about it? It's too long?
And I don't even like Madonna did a cover of it. I don't like that one either. I like it. It's worse.
Oh my God. This is shocking, Sarah.
Yeah. I think it was one.
I like that one.
I don't like it.
I don't know.
I don't know why.
What part of it don't you like, though?
I don't know. I just
the
don't
notes
like
or the
it.
lyrics?
Both.
This is shocking. The lyrics are great.
Yeah, why don't I like that? Yeah.
That's real disappointing to me. What if we break up?
She's disappointed that I don't like that song.
It's a great song.
I know. There's got to be some like. So it's got to be like situational. I must have been something like somebody
Playing
played this that I didn't like. Yeah. Or it was in the background during some like car ride that I hated, something like that. But that's just like a song that causes when I'm like, oh, next.
But there's
like annoying.
The study is saying that those 13 emotions were uniform in both cultures.
Yes, and you can even look at, I'm going to show you, there's an interactive map that they created.
I'm surprised that this worked out because, to be honest with you, and no disrespect to Asian cultures, but you know that the like if you go into a Chinese restaurant and the music that typically plays, I don't even know what the fuck that is, a harpsichord or something.
I know what you're talking. The
sitar.
Well, it sounds like that, but it's
not a sitar.
Not that. Wrong culture.
Yeah.
But similar.
That's Indian. But whatever it is, I hate it. And I'm like, how do these people stand it? And these
I
ladies,
like that.
these ladies that sing it, I hate it. I don't want it.
Really?
It grates on me.
Okay. I don't really mind that.
You like it. You find it pleasant.
Yeah. And you know what else is growing on me? Mariachi music.
Oh my God. That's great news.
Yep.
How did this happen? Exposure therapy?
I think maybe more exposure to some good, Latin beats.
This will be great for things we got wrong. Like you can talk about how you were wrong.
Now
about
I'm
mariachi.
like, fine. Yeah, they're like. Mm-hmm.
Did you say
need
Latin
to learn how to
beats?
samba?
Oh yeah,
like,
samba.
I learned how to do it once. I was like, oh yeah. Now I like this.
Okay,
now I know how to dance to this music. Yeah,
but that's why it surprises me that China and the U.S. share these things, because I would put the traditional Chinese music in the irritating category. But I mean, there is always, of course, personal preferences.
Yeah, I wonder if people from China also do not like American Pie.
Right, or Americana, which is exactly what Brian Wilson and the Beach Boys are, and Brandi Carlile, Paul Simon. That I'd put them in the Americana category.
Oh yeah.
Maybe they hate their guts. Who knows?
Well, we did learn that, what is it, Kenny Loggins?
Kenny Loggins?
G.
Oh, Kenny G.
Yes.
What about him?
Is played at Quitting Time in, where was it, Korea?
Yes. Is that Japan? Or Korea?
Or was it Japan? Where was it?
Yes.
Can't remember. But they like that.
They like that tune.
Yeah.
The alto sax, they're into it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was like a little like follow up. I think it would be a fun one to, it would kind of take. I'm going to show you. I'm going to share my screen. Let's see.
Okay.
Make it so I can do that.
Oh right. And also, okay, I did that. If you do watch the Brian Wilson thing, which you can log into my Amazon to watch it for free.
Oh, cool.
I would like to know if you are moved by it or if I have a problem.
I'm going to watch it. I'll watch it.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is kind of like the map that they made.
Map that they made.
This is the
I like
all
the
ratings.
indignant. I feel that. Energizing and pumped up is near the indignant category. That's interesting.
Oh.
Isn't it funny that anxiety is close to triumph?
Well,
cool.
That makes sense. That's kind of like what we talk about labeling emotions, and how, on the challenge, when I was really nervous, I would just tell myself that I'm excited. That's almost like I'm.
You can like glide into that other category.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If you're on Patreon, you can look at this map that we're looking at because we're recording the video.
Yeah, and you can see that the U.S. and China both had a ton of overlap in all the similar places with these songs.
Yeah.
Just fun information.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so I'll definitely put that article, or at least the link to check out the mind map in our newsletter.
Okay, good. Because, I mean, for me, that is true that music does transcend this earthly plane and is vertical, spiritual. And I'm always like freaked out when I meet someone like my mom. She does not care about music. No interest in music, doesn't move her.
Oh, I have to find it. There's somewhere in my notes from that I've been somewhere I found this article that I've been meaning to bring up in here for so long that highlighted the brain differences of people who can hear music in a different way. And you have this. You hear music, you like the way you process it, I have a feeling that you have kind of a form of synesthesia with music. That there's some processing that your brain does, or where that's stored or something. And I have to find where.
Sarah is funny. Like, well, I'll be singing in the car because that's just how it goes. And she'll be like, never heard that note before. like it's a song that she's heard a million times, but like she didn't hear the part that
Correct.
I like or whatever.
Right.
We hear it differently.
You're able to take apart, like deconstruct the layers to the music.
Yeah.
In the same way that, like, I can look at a painting and see the layers of paint that went on there and which order they started in.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, yeah, they did white back with the background, then they did the gray over the clouds to make the clouds look like that. And other people may see it as one painting.
Yeah.
Like just one thing.
Just a picture, yeah.
Just a picture. And I think the same thing is with you and music, that you hear all of the parts and you hear the layers there.
But
and
then I think
just see the
let's
full
say
picture.
you're in the normal category then. Like you enjoy a song, you love music, but like you don't hear it that way, layered.
Right.
But then my mom and some other people, like, have you ever met somebody that says, I don't like music? I want to be like, are you okay? Because that to me is like not human.
Could it be that does it fall in the same category as like it's kind of like satanic because it's creating an emotion?
No,
that
that's
she
the thing.
didn't
She doesn't
create?
feel the emotion. She has no reaction. It
I don't
doesn't.
know. I can't. I
know.
feel maybe similarly to people who say I don't really care about food.
Right.
And I'm like, have you tried?
Have you right? Have you tried a piece of chocolate cake?
Have you had my key lime pie?
Which reminds me, we need to talk about your Everlywell results.
Oh yeah,
Did you say a key lime pie?
yeah,
That's what came to mind. That's funny.
yeah. Because I just baked 2 this weekend. They were delicious.
Sarah revealed recently
Yep.
that she got the results of her Everlywell test back.
Yep.
In which they told her which foods she had a sensitivity to.
Yes. Yep.
And it was all the good foods.
All the good foods. But I also gained additional information from this.
Tell me.
Why these tests are so important.
Okay.
So I talked to my friend who's a nutritionist, and with those results.
Oh,
And you know
okay.
what she did? She told me, and I think I would love to have her even come on the podcast and kind of talk a little bit about this stuff, because the things a doctor knows versus a nutritionist or dietitian knows about your health and your like food and things like that, totally different. And she said, what you are probably missing is an enzyme that is needed to digest all those things. So if we find the enzyme that your body needs to process those things, we can counter those symptoms and you can still enjoy those things, but you're giving your body the enzyme that it needs to break those things down that you probably didn't get because you were a cesarean section.
That makes sense.
There you go.
Wow, that's interesting.
I'm so glad I took this test. Eli's getting one too, and he's taking it.
Okay, that's exciting.
Yeah, because we're like, it's just the more you know, and then it's just so
empowering.
It's like important to have this information, and then you can take that information to somebody and fix everything up.
Yeah, it's an at-home lab test, so you just send it back to them, and in a few days you get your results of which foods you're sensitive to, and if you want to, you can avoid. And then they have a metabolism test, and it's just good to know like what is going on with your body, and like I said, it's empowering and can help you make better choices. It's super easy. Now they have vitamin D gummies, which I'm taking every day.
Ooh, very important, especially since you're sick and inside during the summer. You're going to need that vitamin D.
Yes, and in Pittsburgh generally, there's not a lot of sun, so it's important to get vitamin D. And they are so tasty that it's like almost dangerous, where you're like, I would like more of those.
Yes, I made that mistake with some fiber gummies one time.
That is a bad mistake. But they're very tasty and helpful to take some vitamin D. They have an omega-3 fish oil.
Oh, yeah. You know what I just started is B12. Because,
that's crucial,
yes,
Peg says.
That's very crucial.
Yes.
And really good for my metabolism.
Good idea.
Yeah.
For listeners
B12
of
is
this
where it's
show, Everlywell is offering a special discount of 20% off at-home lab tests at everlywell.com/braincandy. That's everlywell.com/braincandy for 20% off your next at-home lab test, everlywell.com/braincandy. Can't recommend it enough. I loved it.
Right.
Highly recommend.
Love.
Okay. Any hoodles.
We're going to learn
were.
more things. Okay. What do I want to talk to you about? Okay, this is really cool. That just, we like dinosaur facts. I like dinosaur facts. So there was a new theory that's been proposed, I guess you can call it that, about why Tyrannosaurus Rex has such tiny arms.
Yeah, okay, let's hear it.
Did you read this?
No.
Hear about this?
No.
So there were fossils that were found that showed bite marks, that showed damage, like teeth marks, from another Tyrannosaurus Rex on the arms of a T-Rex.
Yeah.
And so the paleontologists concluded that, or hypothesized, that the arms of a Tyrannosaurus have shrunken down to avoid being consumed and getting in like in the way when they have their dinosaur feeding frenzies.
Frenzies?
So like dinosaurs attack, some other dinosaur, and they all are going crazy and like chewing them up to pieces, and the dinosaurs like can't control themselves and can't are just like eating everything in sight. And so any dinosaur's arms that were in the way also got eaten.
Come on.
And so they believe that the arms have been shortened to avoid intentional or unintentional injury from group feeding events.
You're trying to tell me that it's like the old country buffet or something,
Yes.
where these guys line up to crowd around. They're super psyched. What do they eat? Is it grass or like
Susie?
What are they? Carnivore?
Carnivores.
Okay,
Yeah.
They're carnivore. So there would be like a dead animal or something, and then it's like tiger feeding. Let's do this. It's like T-Rex feeding, and
several individuals go into town on a deceased carcass together.
And it didn't matter if there was just like an arm in the way; they would just keep going.
Yes. There was a high potential for intentional or unintentional injury, whether it was the other Tyrannosaurs being like, get out of here. So ones that had shorter limbs were at an advantage.
Why did you act like it was
obvious
obvious that they're carnivores? Some dinosaurs are not.
Have you seen Jurassic Park? T-Rex!
As if that's some sort of scientific, Bible.
We're going to need to do a poll. How many people are aware that a T-Rex is a carnivore? He's like if you were to pick any dinosaur that's a meat eater, I actually couldn't name another one.
That's the whole point.
I only know T-Rex.
That's the whole point.
Because he's like the mascot of...
So many... Yes, maybe, but so many of them are herbivores or omnivores.
Right.
That's the only one you can think of, and you're offended that I didn't remember it in the heat of the moment when I didn't even know. Okay. Okay. Anyway, that's really weird, though, that not only are you telling me, though, that they're carnivores, but they're kind of cannibals.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And so there's also evidence in modern animals of this, too. And crocodiles. So there was a video in 2015 that showed a crocodile clamping onto the arm of another crocodile and rolling, pulling his arm off.
For real,
so,
you saw it?
I didn't see it because I'm not going to click on that, but it does exist. It's out there.
That's crazy.
That the incident kind of points to that maybe there's some, if the animal unintentionally ate the limb of its peer or whether it was just out of I don't want that guy to touch my food, and so he did it.
Do you think they would actually enjoy it and then be like,
and
yummy?
so their arms, the T-Rex who had shorter arms that were out of the way of this
feeding
tiger
frenzy.
feeding, feeding frenzy were the ones who had an advantage. This is just a theory.
Yeah, totally.
But it is interesting that they have such short arms.
Well,
like, why?
What did they even do
that?
with
So
those
people are
little
wondering,
guys?
why is that? There's got to be a reason. There's always a biological reason that usually has to do with procreation or eating or feeding.
Do you think they even use those little guys? Like, what are they doing with them even?
Definitely not high-fiving.
This is why I do this show. Because
all of you guys are picturing T-Rexes like running up to each other, like trying to high-five, but like missing. Which would be like the funniest little cartoon.
I don't know anybody else that would have had that answer at the ready. That's what I love about you.
Well, yes,
that I can be like, what do they do with it? And then you will have a funny answer. It's like really masterful.
Well, thank you.
Truly. Definitely not high-fiving is right.
Yeah.
But
there was a lot of evidence that the fossil records showed a lot of damage on these forearms of the T-Rexes. So this is what
it wasn't just
they
one
concluded.
example?
No, it says bite marks from other T-Rexes aren't uncommon in the fossil records. If an analysis of fossils showed the reduced number of bites on the forelimbs as compared to the other areas of bodies, that might suggest that the shortening of limbs was a successful evolutionary survival strategy. So they're comparing it to now other fossils, but this is not a rare occurrence. This happens.
It would have been so much cuter if they had evolved with pockets to put their hands in.
And they're like, I'm just going to store them in here.
It's time to eat. Let's put those hands away.
I mean, kangaroos did it, so.
Yeah, right. It's not even that crazy.
Right. I still like the theory that dinosaurs could be covered in feathers.
Yeah, well, there is some debate about that.
Right. And that's cool to me, that they were all running around looking like giant parakeets. Like brightly colored. We don't know. We have no idea what colors dinosaurs are.
Because that is not preserved.
We don't have any history, any record of that.
Mm-hmm. That was in I think his name was Steve Brissett, the book about dinosaurs, the name of which I can't remember, but I talked about it on the show, and I loved that dinosaur book. And it was very informative, and he talked a lot about the feathers theory.
Yeah.
It definitely could be true.
Right. We really don't know anything.
Isn't it funny, though, how these guys that have been extinct for so long still capture so much of our imagination? Children and adults.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much there. It's like something that when you think about a dominant species, like you think about these things that were huge and powerful and scary.
Like dragons.
And you're like, wow, they didn't make it? Right? Kind of makes you, I don't know, think about.
I don't think it has the intended effect, though. I think we're like, yeah, but we did.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes. We're probably like, oh, we have houses, so we're probably going to be okay if the comet comes.
How often
We're inside.
How often would you say you think about that movie, Don't Look Up? Never, rarely, frequently, always.
I would say rarely, but when I do, it's significant. The effect is significant.
Yeah.
And then I almost have to catch myself because it'll be like an overwhelming thought. I just think about it leads, one thought leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. Oh, I was just reading another article on how many thoughts we have during the day, and they differentiated between like they called them, what were they called? I think they were called worm thoughts. I think that's the term they used, where it's a thought that then grows, like continues to burrow into your mind.
Okay.
And that they were able to.
How many of those we have?
Differentiate between grouped thoughts and new thoughts. Like these worm thoughts where it's like a trail of thoughts. And then when we switch and have it introduce a new subject. So before we weren't able to do that. It was just like, oh, we have 200,000 thoughts a day or whatever. But it's not like a new thought. They're oftentimes continuations of a previous thought, these like worm thoughts. And so accounting for that, there's about, I think it was 6,300 thoughts that we have a day. Still a lot.
That is a lot.
Not all of them we're supposed to listen to.
I would love to know the range, though, because I think there's some people that have maybe like 500.
I would totally agree. Worm thoughts. Yeah, I'm going to have to like look at that for next episode. It wasn't something that I had. Thought worms. I'm saying it wrong. Worm thoughts. No, they're called thought worms. Yeah. They're brain-based markers for new thoughts that Queen's University is just...
I love a thought worm.
Me too. Yeah. But here's the thing. And we've talked about this on the podcast before. You have to recognize that they are thought worms, and that if you are going in one direction, it will continue to go that direction until you intentionally change it. So and it takes about, I think it was 17 seconds to switch it to that new thought. So if you are thinking negatively about yourself or an outcome or something like this, oh my gosh, I'm the worst. I can't believe I did this wrong and blah, 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 blah. Everybody's going to think about how bad I am and blah, blah, blah. That then leads into more of those thoughts, more of those thoughts, more of those thoughts. And those are the ones we don't want to have. Those are the ones we want to like, whoa, nope, let's like turn that around. And it takes about 17 seconds, I think it is, to switch it. Where we have to have you have to stay in that thought and put intention towards shifting those thoughts, or you're going to stay in the more negative mindset.
It's a lot of work.
I say it's like potty training your baby or sleep training. Or riding a bike. It's a lot of for a short period of time, and then none.
Yeah. That's
good.
a good analogy.
You're never, ever going to be like, oh, crap, how do I tie my shoes? You already know that. So I tell clients, don't ever worry that you're going to be like, oh, my God, how do I have awareness? No. Once you realize that your thoughts, you are not your thoughts, they're automatic. You are not responsible for your first thought or your first feeling. You are responsible for your second thought and first action. So if you can just give yourself the compassion and understanding that, oh, that was just a thought, and we can choose to have a different one.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
Then we can kind of let go of that and like that you are not your thoughts.
Yeah, but if you're like, you know what, I like that thought, I'm going to keep doing that.
Yes.
Now we have a problemo.
Or good. Or a cure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's wind it down.
Power of the mind. Dinosaurs could be covered in feathers, and T-Rexes don't give good high fives. That's what we've learned today.
Sarah and I are going to become Jewish.
Probably.
I'm psyched about it.
Yeah.
Whenever I made my documentary in grad school called The Revolving Door Faith Club, do you remember that?
No.
Oh, like I recruited my friends and we all decided to shop for a religion. And so we were Jewish, Muslim,
yes, I do remember
evangelical,
this.
Catholic.
Yes, but what a good name.
Thank you.
Yes, I didn't know that
I'm
part.
great at naming things.
You really are.
That's all I'm good at. But all of us, or most of us, concluded that Judaism was the most moving and transformative for all of us. That
is exactly what I said to Eli.
Yeah,
I said it's the most correct. I mean,
it is, and the rituals that are in place have been sort of tested over time. I mean, there's a reason they exist, and nothing is perfect, of course, but that was the one that had the greatest impact among us. So Sarah and I are going to.
And when I studied religions, that was the one that was the most scientifically. There was a base of science and knowledge.
Yeah, because they're not stupid.
Right. And I'm like, oh, that's the correct answer. There we go.
Remember, though, when people wore testosterone gel and thought that was a great idea?
Oh, my God.
And they were like, here, let me hold my
pubic
baby.
Hair. Could you imagine if you saw that in your child?
No.
And you were like,
I keep teasing Lincoln about pubic hair. Well, because
Susie, don't shame him.
I'm not shaming him. I'm just kind of like, I'm the harbinger.
Prepping him.
I'm like, guess what? Because I don't want it to be a surprise party when those
Right.
things start sprouting. Anyway.
Oh my gosh. Tell him to stop growing up. He's looking like a little, like a boy now, like not a little kid. Like I can see the Lincoln who's going to go on a first date.
Totally, but the good
And
news
I'm
is
having feelings about that.
I can still see the baby.
Good.
And so there's both. Still.
Good.
Eventually, the baby will be all gone. But, like, his paws are still baby paws and everything.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I know his voice is going to be different when I see him
Ooh, I don't want
next
to think
time.
about that. That's worse to me than pubic hair.
Right.
Those weird
Right.
voices, and they act like fucking aliens. I hate boys.
Well, then when, like, the voice changes and the baby voice is gone.
That's what I mean. When they're like, hey. Like, out of nowhere, I'm like, who the fuck are you?
Lucas's voice used to crack all the time. We used to laugh so much at it. Poor little guy.
Brian Wilson is a genius. Please watch Long Promised Road on Amazon Prime because I want to know if it's just me or if it's moving to you also. Yeah. Sarah likes mariachi music. That music map was great. Maybe you could share that on your Insta story.
Yeah.
By the way, stop abandoning your close friends portion.
Oh, I need to put more stuff up on there.
Yeah, don't forget about us over there.
I forget about that little bit. Yeah, I gave you guys all the behind the scenes of the challenge that never was.
That's true. We want more, though. We want more Sarah.
Yeah. I need to put that in my highlight reel, my close friends highlight, so you guys can keep looking at that. Can't rob you of that experience. Yeah. Thanks for the reminder.
And dinosaurs are weird, and they definitely eat meat. Don't let Sarah
They definitely eat meat.
make you feel like shit about that. All right, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.